You're watching Capital One Bowl Mania.
What a great day for college football in New York City. Welcome to the new era Pinstripe Bowl as a part of Capital One Bowl Mania. It is one of the great sports towns in America, one of the great stadiums in all of sport, Yankee Stadium, getting set to host a little ACC and Big Ten football between Virginia Tech and Maryland in the new era Pinstripe Bowl. We have a bowl game in a baseball stadium as J.C. Price of Virginia Tech just entered the field to enter Sandman in Yankee Stadium. Where have we heard that before? Tim Hasselbeck, Matt Berry alongside. Happy New Year's to you and yours. So happy to be a part of a college football bowl game inside Yankee Stadium getting played. Both of these teams come in 6-6 records, trying to go into the offseason with a winning record. I want to start with Virginia Tech. This is a proud program who made a coaching switch that's looking to get into the offseason with momentum.
A lot of tradition in the Virginia Tech program and a good opportunity for their players to finish out the season on a high note and a bit of an audition in front of their new head coach.
You talk about Maryland 6-6 as well. Mike Loxley trying to get this team over the hump. They're in a bowl game for the first time since 2016. They've got a good young quarterback to build around in Talia Tagovailoa. And Tim, when Leah is on, he's really, really good.
The good is good.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes the bad's the bad, but the good is really good. And they're trying to build it around him. I think he's a really talented player. He's accurate, he can make all the throws. You see the production for a guy that's completing around 70% of his passes. They create a lot of good plays, and they have built it around him because there is talent on this Maryland offense.
Talia Tagovailoa, one of the best quarterbacks in the Big Ten. As you said, when he's on, and he's got a weapon in Rakim Jarrett. We believe today is going to be one of the more electric players to watch. He's just fun.
He is a lot of fun to watch. He's an excellent wide receiver. I mean, he runs good routes. He's got great hands. He's excellent once the ball is in his hands, though. He kind of plays with the strength of a running back. And so if I'm Tagovailoa, I'm looking for the dude wearing a hoodie under his shoulder pads because he can make it happen.
Number 5, Hoodie, he is the guy. On the other side, you talk about Virginia Tech. They were entering year 6 of the Justin Fuente era. And in front of a national audience, first game of the season, took down 10th ranked North Carolina. People think, here we go, here's the season.
Yeah, it was an amazing environment, and you thought, well, maybe this is the year they head back to prominence. And unfortunately for the Virginia Tech program, a loss to Notre Dame was kind of where things started to fall apart. And, you know, shortly after that, on November 16th, Justin Fuente was let go as head coach of the Virginia Tech program. J.C. Price, as you mentioned, Matt, gets the opportunity as the interim head coach and leads them to a bowl win against, or a win against Virginia that makes them bowl eligible. And it was, you could see the emotion of that moment, and it gives them this opportunity here.
Brent Pry, the new head coach, is going to retain J.C. Price. We'll get into their story and their connection throughout the broadcast. Both Virginia Tech, he played here. Brent Pry, a grad assistant back in the day. We'll get into that situation coming up later. As for the quarterback, Connor Blumrick, he's going to get the start. Braxton Burmeister was the starting quarterback this year. He entered the portal after the game, wanted to play in the bowl game. Coaches said, thanks for everything you did, but we want people that are all in, and that's why Blumrick, the Texas A&M transfer, gets the start.
Yeah, and so the offense is going to look a little bit different because Blumrick is not really a passer. I mean, he's only has 16 attempts on the season. Really, he's a physically talented football player, if you will. They've used him in the past as a goal line runner or short yardage runner. So I would expect a lot of quarterback runs and run game out of the Virginia Tech offense.
All mustache and hair team for Blumrick. We look forward to seeing him play today. We also want to welcome the third member of our team, Sam Acho. Acho down there, and we're talking about the coaching change and how this could be a foundation setter, Sam, as we go forward into the offseason.
It absolutely is. J.C. Price, he has the foundation, the culture of this Virginia Tech football team. He's the interim coach, coaching this game. He's going to be retained. Everyone is excited. Everyone is going to be ready to play for this game. It's a certain kind of hokey that they're looking for. That's what they're looking for in this game.
Now, Acho, I do want to say we are happy to have you here, but you can't play today.
Man, it's too late. Pre-game warm-ups, I was catching punts in the pre-game. I see some of my former coaches. I might be suiting up sooner than later.
Hey, we just need you down there talking ball with us. We are looking forward to it. And as far as December 29th is concerned, in New York City at Yankee Stadium, Tim Hasselbeck, it is a balmy 42 degrees. I mean, it could be Gulf weather out here. Light wind, 42 degrees. I know some people that have called this bowl game in single digits, so we might be sweating out here on the concourse as we get set for a little college football in Yankee Stadium. Maryland has won the toss. They've elected to defer, so we'll see Virginia Tech start the game on offense. We'll get a look at Connor Blumrick early in this game. It's going to be Keontae Jenkins deep to receive for Virginia Tech. Settle in, have some fun. 9 innings of good football underway at Yankee Stadium. And Virginia Tech, that's Keyshawn King, who was on a reception. He takes the ball out to the 30-yard line. Gain of 25, and that's where we bring out Connor Blumrick for the first time today. Tim Hasselbeck. It'll be interesting to see with some of the depth issues with receiver what they decide to do with this quarterback.
Yeah, I said in the open, he's not really a passer, the transfer from Texas A&M, but he is a good football player. It's a guy that's tried his hand at a number of different positions, running back, tight end. So I would expect quarterback run along with some of the more traditional runs that we've seen from the offense.
Raheem Blackshear, one of the talented running backs. Keyshawn King, another running back. Virginia Tech with Blackshear towards the end of the season, along with Malachi Thomas. They were able to get the running game going there, a gain of 2.
When you mentioned Blackshear, he's really a versatile player, Matt. I mean, they kind of a change of pace back, if you will, but they can line him up a wide receiver. They can hand him the fly sweeps. They can use him in the backfield like they're doing now.
They spotted it for a gain of 1, 2nd and 9. That's Blackshear up the middle, and a nice gain there on 2nd down, gain of 5. Tackled by Darrell Jackson. And Tim, you talked about some of the opt-outs, some transfer portal guys with Virginia Tech. You're going to see a lot of young players for the Hokies who get an opportunity to impress their new head coach.
Yeah, that's why games like this are important and have different importance, for every different player that's out there. And so great opportunity for some young, lesser experienced Virginia Tech wide receivers in this game.
So an early 3rd and 4 for Blumrick. Forced out of the pocket. Makes a man miss. He's going to be shy of the 1st down after a gain of 1. And that Terps defense able to force a punt. Lautez Rogers on the tackle. And a good job for the Terps starting out in this one. So Peter Moore going to punt. Tarheeb still deep to receive for the Terps. Still has some space. Still to the left. Looking for a block. He's going to take it all the way. No flags. Touchdown, Maryland. 91 yards, and how about that for Maryland to start this game? Tarheeb Still, 92 yards, and he really went untouched.
He did. It was a great job of the return team. It was actually an excellent punt. The ball was launched, but a great job of the Maryland return team just doing a good job of getting a hat on a hat, and then with Still speed in space. And what a way to start. I mean, the Virginia Tech program, let's be fair, is known in many regards for their special teams. So to open up on the first punt of the game by Tarheeb Still, what a start.
On another day out here, they'd call that a leadoff home run.
You wrote a bunch of these, didn't you?
I didn't. The baseball puns are just going to roll off the tongue. What a start for the Terps. It was, you're right, it was a heck of a punt, but Still took it, got some blocks, and he went 91 yards. Maryland up 7-0. Start from Maryland here at Yankee Stadium. 7-0 New Era Pinstripe Bowl. Fans out in Monument Park. You basically come to a sports museum here at Yankee Stadium to see some of the legends, not only of this storied franchise, but of baseball in general. That was, by the way, that was the first punt return in New Era Pinstripe Bowl history. It was also a record for Maryland. Longest punt return in Maryland history. So if you're sitting in the dugout, we can tell you from our vantage point, the left field stands are some of the desired spots. Hasselbeck and I are up here in a suite out on the concourse. Really just a good setup overall.
It really is a great setup, and I think, ultimately too, Matt, it's exciting to play a sport, even though it's not baseball, in this stadium because of the tradition.
This is Chance Black, has a crease. Takes it beyond the 27-yard line, gain of 27. See what Virginia Tech has now. Connor Blumrick, they were 3 and out the first time around. You've got Blackshear, you've got some talented running backs. How are you establishing that just to get anything going?
Yeah, I think the key is, the thing I would be most concerned about is staying out of known passing situations for Blumrick, who doesn't have experience as a passer. So stay on schedule like they did the last drive, get to a third and medium or third and short, so that you have the option to run the quarterback still on third down.
They're going to give it to Blackshear right up the middle. That would be a good way to start the drive. I had mentioned some of the opt-outs at receiver. Trey Turner, he's headed to the NFL. He opted out. Tavion Robinson, probably their best receiver. He was in the portal already at Kentucky.
And that's the interesting thing about this Virginia Tech team. They've had a lot of talent on offense. It's certainly not represented today necessarily with the experience. And Maryland, from what I've seen so far, has decided, look, we're going to play man coverage with a single field safety to challenge him.
Blumrick going to keep that one, and that's what he does for this offense. Key block there, Amy Finau on the tackle, and a gain of 5.
Yeah, and this is what we talked about, some of the things they can do. It's a bit of a read play. Blumrick decides to keep it, and because of his size and willingness to be a physical runner, they can run some of those read plays where he's a runner in between the tackles, not just getting out on the perimeter, which is more of what they would do with Braxton Burmeister.
So 3rd and short for the Hokies. Blumrick going to keep it. That's going to be close depending on the spot.
It looks like they're giving it to him down here.
They are moving the chains. That was just enough for the first down. So Virginia Tech able to move the chains, try to get some momentum on this drive.
And I think you can see what Virginia Tech wants to do offensively. And really for Maryland, I think it ends up being a great test for Maryland, a team that, I think in terms of how you can kind of bow up against teams that want to run the football, what their response will be.
3rd carry on this drive for Blumrick. Mosiah Nasili-Kite with a big tackle for loss for the Terps.
Yeah, that's a great play by Nasili-Kite. Just watch him. He wins right away. It's a quarterback sweep. Just look at him. They just extend, create space, and make a play. That's really well done.
Okuwanu, Finau, Nasili-Kite, they're good up front is Maryland. And again, mentioning knowing what's coming offensively, at least, not a threat to throw. And a loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Blumrick play fake, setting up the screen to Blackshear, tries to get a block. And again, the Maryland defense, after a gain of 3, there to wrap up Blackshear. That's Jeremy Spraggins on the tackle.
Yeah, and Spraggins is a guy that flies around. You mentioned the guys up front. I really feel like their linebacker level players as well as their safeties, are guys that play with great energy. And, you mentioned it, Matt, if you kind of have a beat on what you think the team's going to do, you get a 2nd and long situation, they go screen, 3rd and long, could end up being screen draw again. Helps you defensively, obviously.
Empty backfield for Blumrick, looks over the middle of the field. That is caught, and a first down for Virginia Tech. 2nd of the drive, Nick Gallo, the reception for the tight end and the gain of 10.
Yeah, it's a good job of Gallo just kind of posting up, finding a little bit of a soft spot in the zone, and Blumrick playing with good anticipation. Put the ball on his right shoulder and is able to fall forward for the first down, and it's good timing.
Malachi Thomas now checks into the backfield. Blackshear in there as well, comes off the jet sweep. Blackshear off the left side, and they'll move that talented player around the field. Ruben Hippolyte on the tackle after a gain of 8.
Yeah, and that's the type of stuff I was alluding to earlier, Matt. The idea with Blackshear that he's a satellite player. You know, you can line him up outside the numbers, try to isolate him on somebody, you know, outside. You can motion him into the backfield and hand it to him on fly sweeps like you see there. Or you can use him as a traditional back. Really talented player, and everybody that faces Virginia Tech always seems to notice him first.
And that's Thomas off the left side. And a gain of 1. You know, back to Blackshear with the depth issues at receiver for Virginia Tech. He's going to catch a lot of balls this afternoon as well.
Yeah, and I think they kind of always have wanted that to be the case, even when Trey Turner and Tavion Robinson were in the lineup, just because he's good with the ball in his hands. He's one of their faster players. He's got great awareness and feel for the game, feel for the passing game. And so I think it'd be wise to try to get him involved.
Another 3rd and short for Virginia Tech. Blumrick keeps it himself. Lautez Rogers brings him down. And again, this is all on the spot, Tim. And they spotted him short, so now it's going to be 4th and short. And in a bowl game, when you're trying to build the foundation, whatever, they're going to go for it.
Hey, you almost said analytics. I don't think there are any analytics right now in J.C. Price's mind. He's like, look, we should have gotten that first down. We're going for it.
And there's going to be early movement. Both sides are going to point at one another. It's a Pac-12 officiating crew this afternoon.
Offside. Defense in the neutral zone, causing the offense to false start. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Mike McCabe, the official, so Virginia Tech didn't need to run the ball play. Maryland did it for him, and another first down. This is now the 11th play of the drive.
Yeah, initially I thought Delius maybe was going to be the first guy to move. He did move, but it appears that obviously is a neutral zone infraction by Robinson. He's really been an impressive freshman for this Maryland defense. A little too eager.
And an impressive drive for Blumrick and Virginia Tech, setting up the screen, trying to get a player loose. And that's Drake Dualius, the tight end, who's wearing that number 25 today as an homage to Frank Beamer, who wore that jersey number when he played at Virginia Tech. So Dualius typically wears number 89. He'll be in 25 today. Getting away from the pressure was Tarheeb Still, and a nice gain for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, and another screen. Maybe want to chart them, just get a sense of what they're trying to do to help Connor Blumrick.
Nice job by Maryland's defense there. Wrap it up. Malachi Thomas, no gain. And Daryl Jackson. And in the case of the bowl games, Tim, nowadays with opt-outs, certainly COVID an issue. A lot of young players for both teams, both sides of the balls, transfer portal. This is really an audition for both sides, new coach or not.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, just an opportunity, Matt, to compete again. There's a lot of talk about these bowl games, as get a false start on Tenuta.
False start. Offense,
the value of the game, what they mean to players,
penalty,
and
still third down.
Talking to coaches on the field before the game, they're talking about how excited their guys were to have an opportunity to play a game next to guys that they've put a lot of work in together. And I think coaches in many respects feel the same way, even when they're faced with some of the challenges that J.C. Price is faced with in terms of players that he doesn't have available to him.
Penalty backs it up, now 3rd and 12. Blumrick forced to run. Brought down by Greg Rose. And it looks as if this time Virginia Tech, too much for J.C. Price to swallow going forward on 4th down. They're going to punt it.
And it's the right decision, Matt, when you look at kind of position on the field. Kind of in no man's land at the same time, 4th and that long. Even in a bowl game, Matt, even in a bowl game.
Well, let's see what they do with Still, who took his first punt to the house, 92 yards. Bill's going to fair catch it there at the 12-yard line. Sorry, the 7-yard line. So Yankee Stadium has seen some action early. Punt to 29. Right now, Maryland up 7-0 in the New Era Pinstripe Bowl.
The New Era Pinstripe Bowl is brought to you by New Era. Visit us at neweracap.com. And the Book of Boba Fett, now streaming only on Disney+.
Matt Berry, Tim Hasselbeck, Sam Acho back with you. You talk about the experience of the bowl games. Both of these teams visited the 9/11 memorial, and both coaching staffs said the players just absolutely moved by it. And what otherwise may not be a trip here to see something that affected our country so deeply. In about 10 minutes into this game, first time we're seeing Taulia Tagovailoa and the Maryland offense, Tim. They got the punt return for their 7, so let's see what this quarterback Tagovailoa can do to get this Maryland offense going. Tayon Fleet Davis, the running back. He's talented as Fleet Davis is going to get the ball on first down and right up the gut, a nice gain of 7.
You mentioned, you say, hey, what can they do? You know, Tagovailoa, I really think is a distributor. You know, you think of a point guard on a talented offense that gets the ball out to, you know, the guys that are on his team that can make plays. And I think there are plenty of playmakers on this Maryland offense where he can really spread the football around.
Empty backfield now for Tagovailoa. Swings it left. Quick hitter and a good defensive play for Virginia Tech. That was Armani Chapman. As Chigozie Okonkwo gets the hit from Chapman and a loss of 1.
Yeah, because Fleet Davis is the receiver that's spread out wide. Chapman is a corner saying, look, wide side of the field, running back out here. I'm going to be looking inside for any outbreaking route. And it's why Chapman is able to drive on that, make a big play.
So 3rd and 4. Fleet Davis in the backfield. Tagovailoa forced off his spot. Here comes the pressure. He just throws it away. And a great effort to get that pass out. It's going to be ruled incomplete, but Taiwan Garbutt brought the pressure and a good start for that Hokies defense. First time we've seen that unit this afternoon.
That's a great start for the Hokie defense because you make a big play on 2nd down, you force a throwaway on 3rd down, and you know, with how the game started, you know, they put together a little bit of a drive on the 2nd opportunity and then come up with a 3 and out. It's a nice job by the Hokies.
Colton Spangler deep to punt from Maryland. Play clock down to 1. They get it off. Raheem Blackshear is deep, and a great punt by Spangler. Brings Blackshear back inside his 30, drops it, covers it, and pays for it. A loss of 3 after a punt of 53. So Virginia Tech comes back on offense, down 7-0 here, 3:31 in the New Era Pinstripe Bowl. You know, oftentimes in these bowl games, you learn of connections, and that's the case between the Yankees and Virginia Tech. After the tragedy in 2007, the Yankees donated $1 million to the fund, the Victims Fund, and since then, both of these programs, Yankees and Virginia Tech, have kind of had that close bond, Tim, and today, look what Virginia Tech did on the helmets. They put the Yankees logo on the Virginia Tech helmets. That thing is sweet.
It's sweet. I will also tell you, that's pretty remarkable the way the Yankees organization stepped up, and you just see the impact that it can have. You know, obviously the situation terrible at Virginia Tech at the time, and to have the Yankees organization do what they did and then have it still kind of, you know, reverberating through the school and the connection, and now here playing the game in Yankee Stadium.
They get to pay it off here with a thank you in any way they can, putting the logo on the helmet. You see there the scrimmage that they went there. A-Rod, a part of those teams. What a moment, not only for Virginia Tech baseball to be a part of that with this Yankees organization. Probably you go Yankees, Lakers, Celtics, some of the more storied franchises in all of sports. And now here you are in the middle of Yankee Stadium playing a little college football. It's Blackshear on 3rd and 10. He's going to pick up 5. Jordan Mosley brings him down. Sam Acho's our guy down in the field. And Acho, early on, this Maryland defense looks like they came to play.
They did, and I'm on this sideline, the Maryland sideline. It's a different kind of feel. It seems like the team is together. They're playing with each other, for one another. I was on Virginia Tech sideline earlier. It seems like the team is a little bit more spread apart. Obviously, coaching change might have something to do with that. But the bigger issue is I see a team on Maryland playing like a team. We'll see how it turns out.
We'll get into, Brian Stewart, the defensive coordinator for Maryland, talked about what it takes for the great ones to be coached. He thinks this unit has a couple of great ones on their unit. Coming up next, number 19, Clemson and Iowa State in the Cheez-It Bowl. We capped the day with number 14, Oregon, and number 16, Oklahoma in the Valero Alamo Bowl. Both games also available on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. In this bowl season, we've seen some cancellations, so anytime we can put toe to leather and kick off and play a little college football, it's a good thing for all these players, programs, especially these bowl committees who do so much work to get these games off and running. Second possession now for Taulia Tagovailoa in Maryland. A little play fake out of the backfield. And that's Corey Dyches on the reception and a gain of 8.
Yeah, Dyches, another tight end that gets overshadowed
Yes.
by Okonkwo. But ultimately, they've got depth at the position, and I think one of the things Maryland does a nice job of are some of those move the pocket plays, get the defense moving, and just an easy flat throw for your quarterback.
Sets him up with a nice 2nd and 3. Give off the left side. That's Colby McDonald. It's going to be a first down for the Terps. Back down to Acho.
You look at Taulia Tagovailoa, every time he's in the pocket, the defensive coordinator, defensive line coach for Virginia Tech are reminding their players he scrambles to throw, not to run. So anytime he's moving around, he tells the guys, keep your hands up, stay in your rush lanes. He's going to throw the ball down the field.
It's a great point, Sam, because one of the things I feel like I've noticed is that he's a reluctant runner. For a guy that's as athletic as Tagovailoa is, he really doesn't look to run. I mean, it is almost exclusively looking to throw the football.
You see Rakim Jarrett, the talented receiver, motion back to get the throw from Leah. And Chamari Connor there after a gain of 4. You've watched tape on Leo. What's his ceiling? Because he can go. We talked about it in the open. His good is really good.
His good is really good. I think there are some things that he obviously can improve on, but part of it as a young player, kind of learning what you can and can't do. But look, he has the ability to make all the throws. He's accurate. He's got a good understanding for the game, man. I think he's got a really bright future.
Dax Hollifield brings down Rakim Jarrett. So Virginia Tech's defense has done a nice job the 2 times they've been on the field. That's going to do it for the end of the first quarter. Had some early fireworks, had a punt return. That's the difference as Maryland has a 7-0 lead after 1 here at Yankee Stadium in the New Era Pinstripe Bowl. Start of the second quarter here at Yankee Stadium, New Era Pinstripe Bowl. Right now, Maryland on top, 7-0, courtesy of a 92-yard punt return. This season, along with their contributions to university's general scholarship funds, for every field goal and extra point made, Allstate also donated to the American Red Cross to help with disaster relief efforts. As always, thank you, Allstate. So we begin the second quarter, 3rd and 5 for the Maryland offense. That's Jarrett in motion. Tagovailoa to the outside. And that is a Okonkwo one-handed grab. I mean, it's not going to be a first down, but it was a good catch.
Listen, it was a great catch. Not a great decision with where to go with the football by Tagovailoa because he's got a player running with him to the flat. You can see why Okonkwo, one of the reasons why he does have an NFL future, really talented player. And good for him this season after having to sit out last year because of medical reasons. to put together the year that he's had.
So Okonkwo in motion, can't get the first down. Rasheem Blackshear thinks about it. Blackshear wisely steps away from it. Early on, Tim, I mean, you break this thing down, total yards, 24 for Maryland, 48 for Virginia Tech. It's a big play special teams while we have a 7-0 lead.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You know what? Virginia Tech defensively has done a nice job getting off the field, and, you know, offensively, they were able to move the football. Had a false start penalty, got them off the schedule, but other than that, I think they've done some decent things.
That's Malachi Thomas. Nasili Kite on the tackle and a gain of 3. But look, we came into the same Virginia Tech. Their priority is going to be run the ball with Blumrick. He's 3 of 3, 16 yards, but they've been able to get Blackshear involved. They've been able to get their skill guys involved. They just have to finish the drive.
Yeah, and how do you get your skill position players the football when you maybe are a little bit limited in terms of what you feel like you can do in the passing game? So we've seen it. We've seen screens. We've seen some quarterback runs. And so clearly they're trying to do the best they can to have their most dangerous players with the football.
Fake to the outside. That Gallo, and a good opportunity there is a good example, Tim, of using the run to set up a throw at a gain of 3, bringing up third and manageable.
Yeah, and that's the key, I think, Matt, is getting into third and manageables. And so, look, if you have a 3rd and 5, you know, spreading everybody out and having a quarterback run is not out of the equation. And so I think when you can at least present yourself with these opportunities, probably expecting man coverage, there's a little bit more at your disposal.
Blumrick time, and it's incomplete. Still on the coverage, intended again for Gallo. And that's going to be a punt for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, and Tarheap Still, who had the punt return, just does a nice job of driving on the football. A little angle route coming underneath him, and I think Still is kind of like, hey, listen, if there's a player of the game here, I'm going to make an early case for it.
Yeah, through the first quarter, if we gave out a first quarter MVP, Still's the guy. And he's also back deep to receive another punt. Virginia Tech's going to fake it. What a call by Virginia Tech. Peter Moore, who says punters aren't athletes. Grabs the snap, lowers his shoulder, grabs the 8 yards. Oh, it's a bowl game now, J.C. Price.
Look at that. Just absolutely love the call. Backed up. 4th and 4. You get a freshman punter on the perimeter. Let's go. And look at, do it with some big boys up front too. You know, with the way people kind of do these punt protections now. You know, you're talking about a bunch of 300-pounders out in space.
It's like, listen, you want a couple of New York City skyscrapers blocking for you? I got it. Follow me.
That's how you make a punter feel real tough. Get him out front with some big hogs. Fun call. Good job.
Acho, what do you got?
Well, you think about this. You're talking to J.C. Price before the game. He said the type of player that they have in Virginia is simple, tough, hard-nosed. That's the way that they're playing right now. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be stylish. Tough, hard-nosed football is what they're looking for. That's what you're getting.
So 2nd and 8. Blumrick play fake. Going to take a shot deep. His guy is there, and it is caught. Jaden Payu. What a catch, what a throw, flag on the play, but a great delivery for a gain of 42.
Defense number 5. That penalty is declined. Results of play, it's a first down.
Now let's take a look at today's clutch delivery brought to you by Chipotle. And I'll double this one up. I'll go fake punt, and I'll go big play to set that up, Tim Hasselbeck.
That's right. Clutch delivery is right. And Blumrick just does an excellent job of putting the air underneath the football on the go route. And Jaden Payu just able to kind of run underneath it. Excellent grab, but just a perfect throw. I thought he was going to throw the wide route to Blackshear, but obviously liked his matchup.
You talk about depth. You talk about players wanting to be here. The fake punt ignited this thing. Blumrick put it right on Paiute because of it. Virginia Tech, a great opportunity here. Blumrick gonna fake it to Blackshear, and Maryland was ready. That was Hippolyte on the tackle.
Hippolyte has kind of made himself known pretty early in this game as well. You know, the one thing you do have to be somewhat cautious of, you know, with Blumrick, yeah, you wanna run him, but at the same time, you know, you don't want to hurt your quarterback. So, what number carry that is for him, but he clearly has been a big part of what they've been trying to do on the ground.
So here we go, 3rd and 5, 8-play, 63-yard drive currently. Play clock down to 5. Blumrick keeps it. And a gain of 2. Nasili Kite and Spraggins combo on the tackle, and they're going to trot out the field goal unit. John Parker Romo going to try to get Virginia Tech on the board. Going to be a 36-yard attempt, right hash. That kick right down the middle, and Virginia Tech gets on the board. So 9-10 plays, 65-yard drive set up by a fake punt. Now 7-3 Maryland. Barry, Tim Hasselbeck, Sam Acho back with the Yankee Stadium, the New Era Pinstripe Bowl. 7-3 Maryland with the lead. Virginia Tech able to go down the field and kick the field goals. We are pleased to welcome in their new head coach, Brent Pry, Virginia Tech coach. We were just talking about it a second ago. It's been a month, but here you are. Congratulations, new head coach of Virginia Tech.
It's only been a month. Feels like several, let me tell you.
Watching that drive, when we called the fake punt, I immediately looked down at you and your face when that happened. You were all smiles. This is what bowl games are all about.
That's right. Yeah, JC's being aggressive. I love it. That's how we're going to be at Virginia Tech. So JC embodies everything about the place, and happy to have him on board.
You're going to retain him on your staff. You guys have that connection. You just mentioned it there a second ago. What is it about Virginia Tech football that you want to bring back?
Yeah, it's a genuine blue-collar mentality. We want to recruit young men and families that want to be at Tech, that identify what makes Tech so special. And, you know, that goes back to Coach Beamer, Coach Foster, all the men that helped build that program. And JC certainly wanted a big piece of that.
We're going to have you hang out with us during this drive as Roman Hemby takes the kick, has a crease up the middle. He's going to take that past the 31-yard line. Chamari Connor on the tackle. You mentioned Bud Foster. That was a lunch pail defense that he had with Beamer ball throughout all of those years. What is going to be the staple of what you were going to bring?
Yeah, I cut my teeth under Bud, and the mentality is so important to me, and that's what, to me, Virginia Tech needs to get back to. The kids that identify with Tech and what's so special about it. We're going to play a great brand of defense. We're going to be special on special teams, and we're going to have a potent offense led by a dynamic quarterback. You know, that's the way Tech's done it, and I think anybody that recognizes what an outstanding place it is.
Taulia Tungavailoa to Daryl Jones. And I'm not sure I want to talk about the timing of that one, but Leah goes deep. Maryland 70 yards for the touchdown. I don't know if I should apologize or not, Coach.
Hey, that's part of it right there. He's a good player.
Yeah.
We played him this year at Penn State. He's a good player.
I'll be honest, of the awkward moments on TV, that's one of them, Tim Hasselbeck.
It may rank up there. It's a beautiful throw.
Yeah.
By Tungavailoa, it's kind of a high-angle corner route, which are hard throws for quarterbacks to make accurately, and Jones does a good job of setting the angle, and just could not have been thrown better by Tungavailoa.
That was a strike. One play, 70 yards. Coach, thank you for your time. Best of luck in what you're going to build in Blacksburg. Our apologies you had to call the touchdown, but pleasure and Happy New Year.
Appreciate you guys.
Brent Pry, new head coach of Virginia Tech. Looking forward to see what he can do in Blacksburg as Maryland takes a 14-3 lead. Shall we? Old rivals meet in our first game tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, North Carolina against South Carolina, the Duke's Mayo Bowl. And Tennessee takes on Purdue in the Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl. And at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, Wisconsin battles Arizona State in the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl. Another great day of bowl games on ESPN.
You have a rooting interest in that one?
In which one?
What do you mean, which one?
I will be
the Sun Devils.
I will be watching Arizona State out there in Vegas against Andy North's Wisconsin Badgers. So I would say Sam Acho should have a rooting interest in a bowl game, but well.
It's been a long year, Matt Berry. It's been a long year.
You know, I love you. We've been doing that all week on our production calls, and what opportunity there to let Acho have it. As Chance Black is going to return it from his own end zone. Has some speed, but the Maryland defense, special teams, a good job out to the 15. Let's go back to that touchdown, Tim Hasselbeck.
Yeah, it's a perfect play call with the defense that Maryland ended up getting. Here comes the corner blitz, and when that happens, you get a safety that's rotating down. High angle corner here by Jones with a deep cross, and what happens is you got inside leverage on that from that defender running a corner route. And it's a beautiful route and a beautiful throw by Tagovailoa that allows for some run after the catch. And so just caught Virginia Tech in the corner blitz.
So Blumrick fakes it to Blackshear, keeps it on first down. Ahmad McCullough on the tackle after gain of 2. We'll bring you behind the curtains here in the ESPN broadcast booth high above Studio Suite 4 at Yankee Stadium. So Brent Pry was on with us during the touchdown, talked about how defense is going to be what he's going to have to do to bring Virginia Tech football back to where they want it to be. He's on with us during the big play. During commercial, takes his headset off. We say thanks for coming on, and he looks at us and he says, at least I didn't have to see it. My back was turned to the field.
Well, he's right about that, and you were right about one of the more awkward moments on television, Matt, to have that happen. But listen, it happens. I mean, good defenses still give up big plays like we saw. I mean, it just was getting caught in a blitz. Perfectly timed call by Maryland. And listen, that's not an easy throw by Tagovailoa. He's a good player and finds Jones.
3rd and 2, the blitz is on the way. Blumrick had to get rid of it, and it's going to fall incomplete. But the pressure was on Blumrick immediately. And this Maryland defense is playing inspired.
Yeah, they just bring pressure inside. They end up squeezing it. And Deshaun Holt, who's missed the last 5 games because of injury, lets Blumrick know that he's coming.
So Virginia Tech, they still lead in total yardage. They had the one long drive, but they've only been able to get a field goal out of it. Is still fair catches the ball just shy of the 40-yard line. So a couple of big plays, a big punt return and a big pass for Maryland, the difference. 14-3 midway through the second. All right, let's take a look at the Bowl Challenge Cup standings brought to you by Progressive. And the one that stands out there at the bottom, the SEC 0 for 4 in bowl games. 0 and 4 to start the season. The American 3-0. Big Ten just getting underway, 1-0. Got a Big Ten and an ACC team in this one, so SEC no luck early on.
There's a few bowl games left, Matt.
There's quite a few bowl games left. We hope. And I also hope 31 Antoine Littleton gets the ball here. He's Hasselbeck's favorite player for the Maryland Terps. We'll explain why in a moment. Talia fakes it over the middle and a good shot there to 15 Brian Cobbs. That's just the 10th offensive play from Maryland, up 14-3. Had a good shot there out of Tagovailoa.
Yeah, and a good job. It looked like an RPO where make the decision. Obviously, the way the defense was playing, Cobbs open in the middle. And I think that's an area where Tagovailoa can continue to improve.
There's Littleton up the middle. He is 285 pounds of running back meat.
I mean, did you see the finish to this run? I mean, good night. How would you like to be Dax Hollifield right there? Listen, Hollifield brings it. He is a lunch pail guy. But Littleton is not little.
Leah quickly outside to Jarrett. He can make men miss. Rakim Jarrett. Going to be a first down from Maryland. Keontae Jenkins forces him out. You actually watched some Littleton High School video.
Well, you know, he's a young player, and so they say, hey, you know, he may play. So I'm like, you know, let me check this guy out. And so I look him up, and next thing you know, I'm snorkeling into this guy's, high school tape. And you can imagine he was 265 or listed at 265 at the time. No one could tackle him, but he moved really well, and I was excited that we were going to see him live.
Good play fake. Tagovailoa, what a catch! Brian Cobbs, one-handed snag for a gain of 27. Here comes the turtle again.
Yeah, and it's a post-wheel combination, and that is an outstanding grab by Cobbs. And it's one of the things I feel like I noticed. We've seen all kinds of playmakers.
Oh, look at Littleton. Big fella. As Hasselbeck gives me the nod of approval. 285 pounds. Touchdown, Maryland.
Hey, in this environment of spread football, Matt Berry, spread everyone out. Hey, defend 53 1/3. Hey, I want to know what Acho thinks about having to bow up on a 285-pound back with the rest of his help spread out across the field.
Acho, you don't want that smoke. I think Loxley's smile said it all. Cobbs, the great catch here, one-handed, sets up the Littleton touchdown, and Maryland has created separation, 21-3. Here's 6:13 left in the second. Off your day with the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl on ESPN and the ESPN app, and this one almost didn't happen. Rutgers stepped in for Texas A&M to play number 17 Wake Forest. Sam Hartman, what a great story by the Demon Deacs this year. They get Rutgers 11 a.m. Eastern on December 31st. That Maryland drive was interesting because 52 of the 60 yards on the drive were by guys that hadn't touched the ball yet in this game. Another example of young guys taking advantage of their opportunity in Cobbs and Littleton. And so Chance Black's going to let that one go into the end zone. And we would go into break. We had talked about Acho not wanting any of that Littleton smoke, just lowering his shoulder. But Acho, you love what Maryland did with the young running back and how it tempoed their offense.
I did. In Maryland, you talked to the coaches, they said their base offense, day one install is RPO. It's that RPO action, spread it out. But then you change it up. You bring in a 285 running back like Littleton. It forces defenses to be aware of who's in the backfield and change your defense accordingly.
Now answer the question, what would you have done if he was running at you full steam?
Hey, man, I'm 260, so I'm going head to head. I might go low, but I wouldn't go low early. I don't want to get hurt.
Hey, here's a 260-pound guy that likes contact talking about, yeah, you know what, I'm going low. I'm sawing at the knees. Here we go.
It's been a long time since I played, so I'm thinking about my knees, my head, my shoulders, and my toes.
Acho's not getting that. Love catching up with Mike Loxley, third-year head coach of Maryland, trying to get this program to take the next step as Blumrick's going to take a shot. And he overshoots his wide receiver. Good play call on to Nick Gallo, and it falls incomplete. That's what Blumrick's going to want back.
Yeah, it is. He's just got to do a better job. You see him kind of patting his chest, changing the trajectory of the throw. Put enough air on it to get it over the linebacker, but drop it down, and he kind of knows that he had a big play, and he left it out there.
Brings up a 3rd and 8. We expect to see Taj Bullock, the young quarterback, at some point in this game as well. Down 21-3, you wonder when that call might come. Plenty of time for Blumrick. He pulls it down. And Hasselbeck, when you've got a running quarterback and enough for a first down, if the read's not there, you know he's got that in the game to pick up the yards.
He does. It's a good job of making somebody miss, too, to pick up the first down. And one of the things that happens, design quarterback runs are hard. You're essentially a running back, and, there's no element of pass. Part of what happens when you drop back to pass kind of spreads everything out a little bit, creates running lanes, and ultimately...
And here's Bullock. We had talked about the young quarterback coming, and he's going to hand it right off right away. But they like his upside and the ability to throw.
Yeah, and what's interesting here is I would think that you kind of start a drive with a young quarterback, but this is right in the middle of a drive, which is a very different element, and it may be something where he's just in for a few plays and comes back out.
So Taj Bullock, 6'4", 228 pounds, out of Jersey City. So he's got family and friends, local area kid. They said if you're going to put a young quarterback in, hasn't played a snap all season. That was his first snap, but kind of a friendly environment growing up near here. He's going to give the ball to Malachi Thomas, bounces out the outside, but a good job staying with the tackle as Hippolyte has been all over the field this afternoon.
Yeah, he has, because I thought that there was a chance that this one was going to bounce outside by Thomas. And Hippolyte, a great job like we've seen him do all throughout this football game. Watch Thomas here, ready to bounce this one out, and just see not able to outrun the angle from Hippolyte, who's really been impressive.
So Blumrick back in, 2 plays for Bullock. He goes back to the sidelines. Now 3rd and 5. Designed run for Blumrick. Lowers his shoulder. Takes a hit. They're going to be short of the first down after a gain of 3. Bo Braid. Let's take another listen to that hit as Blumrick lowered his shoulder on 3rd. That sounded like football.
Yeah, see, that looks like prime Acho coming downhill on a quarterback. Like, QBs don't want any of that.
Which part? The quarterback getting the best of the defender, or the defender winning that one? Here, 4th and 2. What a grab and a first down for Virginia Tech. Nick Gallo, we've seen a couple of times on 3rd down. Levante Gator on the coverage. But Virginia Tech moving the chains, player down on the field, and that's Gallo, who just came up with the big catch. So it was a 4th and 2. They've gone for it a couple of times. We've seen Virginia Tech do whatever they can to stay in the game. Fake punts, 4th downs. Here's another look at the play that injured Gallo.
Yeah, just to move the pocket play to the flat, and an excellent job of Gallo holding on to the football. Remember, this is a team that lost James Mitchell, a really talented tight end, to a knee injury, and you just hope Gallo, who's kind of pointing at his chest area, that maybe just got the wind knocked out of him. Good to see him back up on his feet.
So 3:12 left here in the first half. 21-3 Maryland. Both teams have all 3 timeouts left. Malachi Thomas up the middle. Remember, Maryland won the toss. They elected to defer. So Kawano on the tackle.
Well, and because of that, Matt, this is a critical possession for Virginia Tech. A good opportunity here, plenty of time. No need to be in any type of hurry. Obviously would feel pretty good going in at halftime if you're able to pop one into the end zone.
Blackshear. And this Maryland defense, there hasn't been much guessing on their end, Tim. Isaiah Hazel brings them down. They've done a good job containing the rush for Virginia Tech. Because right now, they've been pot deep for a couple of big plays, but they know what Virginia Tech's only way to stay in this game is.
Listen, I agree with you. I'm impressed with the way they're flying around and hitting, because we've seen it from every level.
Another rollout, more Gallo. The tight end was off. He got injured on that 4th down conversion. He was back in to move the chains. Hippolyte brings him down at a gain of 12.
Yeah, and Virginia Tech doing a good job of just creating a pick. You know, they kind of get this traffic out here, run everyone up the field, and get in the way. It's Jalen Jones essentially acting like he's looking for the football and allowing Gallo to get to the perimeter uncovered.
Again, all 3 timeouts for Virginia Tech and Maryland. Fake to Blackshear. He's got him wide open. Virginia Tech. Malachi Thomas out of the backfield. And a great job by Blumrick making the read, and a gain of 34. Bo Braid brings him down.
That's a good point, because they're running a post up over the top with Payut, and I thought that there was a chance that he might test it, but kind of run this rail route with Thomas going up the sideline. Good job of seeing it by Blumrick. Good delivery of the football.
So Malachi Thomas, he along with Blackshear towards the end of the season, got the Virginia Tech running game going. That time Thomas showing his skill out of the backfield. Blackshear back in at running back. Again, 3 timeouts remaining. Clock at 1:22. They're going to give it to Blackshear right up the middle for no gain, and you can do that with 3 timeouts.
You can, and here's the deal. Virginia Tech has now run 42 plays offensively to Maryland's 14. The last thing you want to do...
First charge timeout, Maryland.
Is give
30-second timeout.
Is give the ball back to Maryland with enough time to score. I think, you know, the plan here, yes, you want to come away with a touchdown, but with it just being second down,
operator, please restore the game
force
clock
them to take their timeout.
1:08.
Let's check in now with Kevin Nagandi. Kevin?
A&P, I got something on the sideline.
That's what Kevin Nagandi, Booger McFarland, David Pollack, they'll come up in the Smile Direct Club halftime report. Battle in the trenches for the Orange Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, the quarterback under the most pressure, and Clemson's motivation as we check in with those guys down there at the Orange Bowl. You know, Nagandi called this game a few years ago. It was single digits. I said it's balmy. We won the weather lottery in the Pinstripe Bowl.
And I mean, there's nobody softer than Kevin Nagandi, too. So you know that he was just complaining the whole time about the cold weather.
So 2nd and goal now. Right up the middle, Blumrick gonna take it in, and it's gonna be a touchdown, Virginia Tech. What a drive for the Hokies, and flags on the play after Blumrick takes it in.
And this is the type of stuff that Connor Blumrick had been doing, you know, when he wasn't the starting quarterback. Use him in these situations, kind of just power football near the goal line. You see it was kind of bottled up. Just good strength and determination to pop it in.
So
Ruling on the field is a touchdown. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 97. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the ensuing kickoff.
that was on Okawano after the touchdown. You had mentioned how big this was for Virginia Tech to kind of get some momentum going into the half.
Yeah, and just the feel for your football team now, with the time that's left, I do think you've got to make sure that you defend your own end here. But you know, with Maryland getting the ball to start the second half, the fact that you're able to make it an 11-point game, a 2-score game, I think does change the way you feel about it.
So 21-10. Again, Maryland, with how quickly they've been able to strike, they've got 2 timeouts remaining. But Blumrick, he's done a really nice job in this game because coming in, we knew the depth issues, we knew what was going on in the quarterback room. He's put the team, it led the team in the first half. This is a competitive football game.
Yeah, and Matt, he's 8 for 11 throwing the football for 108 yards. And, they haven't asked him to do a ton of difficult things in the passing game, but what they have asked him to do, he's executed really well. And so, I think between, and by the way, doing it while they've also been running him and he's taken some big shots. So the plan has definitely been a good one with how they're using number 4 quarterback.
Virginia Tech, this is the eye-popping stat. You had said it during the drive. Now 43 plays for Virginia Tech, just 14 for Maryland. They lead in plays, they lead in time of possession, they lead in total yards, but the score doesn't reflect that because Maryland's been a quick strike team.
Yeah, now here's the thing. Here's one of my least favorite things I see in football is after a personal foul, kicking off from midfield, kicking it through the end zone. I think you need some type of sky kick to really try to pin Maryland down inside the 10.
What do you think we're going to get?
Well, with Virginia Tech's history of special teams, I think we're getting a sky kick.
Okay. You get the squib kick.
I'm happy with it.
Still effective. Still what you said that you wanted to see that.
Listen, you're inside the 15. Like that's good football to me. Oftentimes, you see people just blasted through the end zone. Make that personal foul penalty mean something. And I think that's a good job right there, because now this offense that's been hard for you to stop, they've gotten some big plays. Now you're forcing them to drive over 85 yards to get a score.
So under a minute remaining, because that could be the difference between trying to execute an offense to get down and score and just going to the half, banging a knee and getting out of here.
No doubt about it.
At least with how you're calling plays, whether you're aggressive or conservative going to the half, knowing you are getting the ball. They're going to call a pass on first down. Tagovailoa to 21, Darryl Jones, who had his first career touchdown earlier in the game and a gain of 5.
And really should have gotten out of bounds there. He was right on the sideline, should have stepped out. Maryland decides to go and not use the timeout.
And a good shot over the middle. Again, here comes the offense of Maryland. Brian Cobbs, enough for a first down, a gain of 16. Here comes the tempo out of Maryland, still 2 timeouts. Under 30 seconds here in the first half. Tagovailoa wide open. Jarrett, what a catch.
That's a great play all the way around. Tagovailoa's got to field a low snap, and I think he ends up being a little high with the football because of the low snap, and what a grab by Jarrett.
Clock now under 20, still haven't used a timeout. Quick hit to the sidelines, out of bounds is Cobbs. And I'm not sure why Maryland's not banging the timeout.
Well, and I got to say, the one where Jones doesn't get out of bounds on the drive starter, I thought you could have called one there because he didn't get out of bounds. And then after the big play to Jarrett, here's the other thing you've got to consider. These receivers now have run a few routes. They end up getting tired. And so burning a timeout there, even though the clock stops with a first down, probably ends up being the better play.
We're the first half for Taulia Tagovailoa, 13 of 14, 178 yards and a touchdown. 8 seconds remaining, up 21-10. Maryland starts with the ball in the second half.
This is a situation, Matt, where anything in the middle of the field, you kind of got to declare yourself down to give yourself an opportunity to throw it in the end zone if they don't try to do it here.
Taulia, again, that's what you're talking about. There's the timeout. And Okonkwo's had a nice first half.
Second
gain
charge
of 13.
Timeout. Maryland, 30-second timeout.
Aside from maybe the questionable use of timeouts, you'd be hard-pressed to find a better execution of offense under a minute to go.
Yeah, the timeout usage probably left a little to be desired because you maybe have an opportunity to get it closer. That being said, that was a really impressive drive by Tagovailoa. And you think about some of the throws, the one to Cobb, obviously the one to Jarrett after fielding a bad snap, and then that one there because of the timing was excellent.
So Joseph Petrino on for the field goal attempt. Virginia Tech's going to use one of their timeouts.
First charge timeout, Virginia Tech. 30-second timeout.
And bowl season rolls on tomorrow on ESPN and the app. Number 12 Pittsburgh takes on number 10 Michigan State. 53rd Annual Chick-fil-A Bowl. Our coverage starts at 7 Eastern. The story in that one, couple of opt-outs. Kenny Pickett, Kenneth Walker, both of them not playing in that one. Still a fun game. In Pittsburgh, the ACC champions. Jordan Addison, one of the great young receivers in our sports. So check that out coming up tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern. So a 44-yard attempt for Petrino. Kick is on the way, and Petrino nails it. So what execution out of Maryland? 24-10 to end the half.
That is the end of the first half.
6 plays, 60 yards. 24-10 is our score. Coming up after the break, it's the Smile Direct Club halftime report. Kevin Agandi, Booger McFarland, and David Pollack.
You're watching Capital One Bowl Mania.
Welcome back to the New Era Pinstripe Bowl as a part of Capital One Bowl Mania. Love being inside Yankee Stadium to watch a little college football, ACC, Big Ten in this one. It is all Maryland in the first half, 24-10. Welcome back, Tim Hasselbeck, Matt Berry alongside. Maryland's story in the first half has been quick plays, big plays. Give Virginia Tech credit. They are down, but they are hanging in this one.
They're still in the game. It's a 2-score game. That being said, they're going to have to find ways to get stops because offensively, it seems like Maryland is doing whatever they wanted to do.
It's been big plays, and they've been quick as we take a look now at our Chipotle clutch delivery, and that revolves around the quarterback, Taulia Tagovailoa. He has been so good in this first half.
He's been outstanding. He's just been so accurate, and it's not like they've been easy throws, and the guys around him have been doing their part. And so the big throw on the high angle corner out to Jones for the score. Throw over the middle to Jarrett. I mean, he's been outstanding. And when you look at what he did in the 2-minute drive, that was also impressive.
14 of 15, 192 yards and a touchdown for Lee. As we take a look at our first half stats, brought to you by PlayStation. Tim, if I brought you some of these stats early on, you'd say, well, look at time of possession. Look at all of the stuff that Virginia Tech's been able to do. But Maryland has been the better football team since kick, and the score indicates that.
They have been. Special teams plays, obviously, the big plays in the passing game, and the defense has been flying around.
So Roman Hemby fair catches it. Ball's going to be spotted at the 25 as we check in with Sam Acho.
I just finished talking to Coach J.C. Price of Virginia Tech. He said this game has come down to 2 plays. Number 1, the punt return. We talked about it. But number 2, it was a big touchdown that Tagovailoa threw. Apparently, Virginia Tech gave away their coverage, and that's how the play was able to be made. So he said, stay the course. We're going to be fine. Let's turn these 3-yard runs into 30-yard runs.
Sacho, thank you. We came out of the top of the broadcast talking about how big this game was for both teams. They come in 6-6, and this is going to sound like the most obvious statement of all time, Tim, but going into the offseason 7-6 is so much different than going in at 6-7.
And winning a bowl game, especially for a program like Maryland, who been a while since they've been in a bowl. And I think when you look at the momentum that can be created, you think about how Maryland's season has gone, yeah, it should feel great to come here, finish off on a high note, and obviously, in a similar fashion for Virginia Tech.
Good job there by Daly, tackle for loss. Actually, they credit him with no gain, so now 2nd and 10. Maryland's trying for their first winning season since 2014. And Tagovailoa just misses there over the middle. Okonkwo was the intended receiver.
It's an RPO. Tagovailoa makes the right decision to pull it and throw it, and he has Okonkwo. See right there, just looking for a window. Doesn't seem to get enough on it. It is a little bit wet. It's definitely cold and kind of had a mist out here. Would not be surprised if the ball was a little slick at times.
Had 13 consecutive completions until that incomplete. So now 3rd and 10 for the Terrapins offense to begin the second half. What a throw by Tagovailoa. He snuck that in between 3 defenders and Rakim Jarrett. I tell you what, that is good as going to get.
It absolutely is, Matt, and you're right. He's throwing the corner route to Jarrett, but he's got to get it over the underneath defender, Chapman, who's trying to fall off of his route. And so it's got to be thrown with the air to the sideline, and then Jarrett just is able to run underneath it. And he's been a lot of fun to watch in preparation for this game. Jarrett, about as good as any receiver I've seen this year.
Right up the middle, Fleet Davis. 28 yards of physical running for Tayon Fleet Davis. We talked about Maryland. They strike quick. Here we go again.
Yeah, and it's a great job of the guys up front. I mean, you get to the second level untouched, just means the guys up front are getting movement. That's well blocked.
Fleet Davis again. Boy, does he got those fleet feet. He made 2 cuts. That was good.
That was another one you practiced, I think. Fleet feet, huh? Listen, that was really good as well. This one not blocked as well, and so this one is all Fleet Davis. Good job of having vision and balance, cutting it back, getting up the field.
Mike Locksley, the 3rd-year head coach, he told us, he's like, we are developing this program. We are close. They are close to adding another touchdown here. Fleet Davis, but the Virginia Tech defense there, no gain. You know, and it starts with the talent. Locksley looked at us. He said, man, there are people coming into my backyard and recruiting players. I'm going to get those players from the DMV to stay put and play football here at Maryland. That is the key.
Well, and I think that he's already done a really nice job putting talent on this roster. And you know, continuing to do that, you know, you have a reputation as a guy that's a good recruiter. That's great that you're a good recruiter. You also have to be a good evaluator of talent. And those 2 things being married are how your program can end up being really good.
Leah going to run the ball, designed to run. He was following Littleton as we go back down to Sam Ocho. Ocho, what you got?
Well, it's huge. You think about this coaching staff. They came from Alabama. They coached Jalen Hurts. They coached Tua. They coached Mac Jones. Now they have Talia. They say he has a lot of similar traits. He's very stern, very serious. When we see explosive offense, don't be surprised. They've done this before.
Yeah, they told us, Leah, at practice, he's got to loosen up a little bit. Loves getting on his receivers and being the alpha of that offense, but
I'll take a guy that cares over a guy that doesn't any day.
Colby McDonald met immediately. Virginia Tech's defense. Keyshawn Artis in a big hit.
Listen, talk about playing down. This is an Ocho type play right here. Cool. Coming downhill like that.
And Tim, I'm actually right here at the end zone. I felt that hit. I heard that hit. I almost jumped on the field to be a part of that hit.
Yeah, the difference is you liked it. To me, I'm far away and I kind of backed up.
Yeah, if you're seeing those Yankees logos on those Virginia Tech helmets, just a nice touch here for the bowl game. Naked boot for Tagovailoa, player wide open, and he overthrows Darryl Jones. The ball play was on there for a touchdown.
Yeah, and he sees it. Tagovailoa sees it, and he has him. So basically the way you read this route is you're going to read the flat, the corner, and then you get to the over route. And so right now he's over, but because they're moving left, it's just hard for him to get kind of organized and get the ball there, which is why he was a little late and the ball was thrown high.
And that's when we talk about development, next level for this quarterback. That's an example of it.
It's a great example of it, you know, and kind of managing certain situations of the game, like area of the field, 3rd and 10, be smart with the football.
Looked at Hemby, back to Jarrett, defense right there. And it looked as if Maryland was headed to the end zone this drive, and Virginia Tech. And that defense, Shamari Connor on the play, a great job holding the turf to just a field goal attempt.
Yeah, that's a big stop with how the drive started. And Shamari Connor has been a really good player throughout his time at Virginia Tech. It's a good job of just beating the block of Spencer Anderson, who's a good player out in space. And Shamari Connor kind of hitting like a linebacker coming downhill.
30-yard attempts now for Petrino. Hit one at the end of the first half. Snap clean, kick up, and another field goal for Petrino. More points for Maryland. So 11 plays, 63 yards, and 3 points. Terps up 27-10 here at the beginning of the third. Pinstripe Bowl right now, Maryland up 27-10. Looking for that winning record for the first time since 2014. Yankee Stadium in late December. The mascots love it. Mike Loxley, third season, trying to build this program. First 2 seasons, 5-12. This one, 6-6. This was his dream job. He said that this is where he wants to be. Came from Alabama, stayed with Alabama during the national championship run. But he's here to build this thing, and he believes he's got the foundation to do it. That's Chance Black going to try to make something happen on special teams. It's a good hard run just past the 25-yard line, over the 30-yard line. And a good example of that, Tim, is something you spotted when he was coaching up his quarterback, Talia Tagovailoa, after the missed and led to the field goal.
I just love the demeanor. You see how he's coaching him up. He comes off the field. He's talking about, some of the things that happened in that last red zone drive. It's a conversation between both guys. He's not... he's teaching at this point, not screaming at his player. I like that demeanor. It's easier, I believe, to play quarterback for a guy like that. I think it's one of the reasons you're seeing really good play out of his quarterback.
Sam, what do you got?
Forget, when Tagovailoa had an opportunity to transfer, he decided to come to Maryland. He could have stayed at Alabama, but it took Loxley convincing Tagovailoa to come to Maryland. He said it's going to pay off. So far, so good.
Of course, his brother Tua and Leah, both Alabama players. Loxley came to Maryland to be the head coach. Talia followed him. As Blumrick in a play fake, it has a man open and again misses him across the middle. It was Dualius, the intended receiver and the tight end. Deshaun Holt provided the pressure.
And Matt, you're right. It's kind of a play fake off of a design quarterback run. We've seen that quarterback sweep, if you will, a few times. They're trying to run that to get the Maryland defense to react to it. And it was a good job of recognizing it by the Terps.
So now 3rd and 7. Virginia Tech, towards the end of the first half, had some momentum offensively. Blumrick, a nice day throwing the ball off his back foot and nearly picked off. That was a dangerous throw there. Jordan Mosley had an opportunity, and Virginia Tech's going to have to punt.
Yeah, Jordan Mosley smiling because kind of can't believe he lets this one get away. Just defending a shallow cross. It's thrown behind, and I think Ryan Clark says that's why they play defense when that happens. But man, it's a good job by this Maryland defense. They've played hard all afternoon.
So that punt's going to favor Maryland, as Still tells his players to stay away from it. A little extracurricular activity after the punt, no flags thrown. Leah and the Terps get the ball after this. Talking 2 types of football today. New York City SC beat the Portland Timbers 4-2 in a penalty shootout to win their first MLS Cup after surrendering a 1-0 lead in the final seconds of regulation at Providence Park. What a moment it was for New York City FC to beat the Portland Timbers as they hoist the trophy. And head coach Ronnie Dyla made a promise that he would strip if the team won the MLS Cup. Now, sometimes coaches make these promises if and when something happens. Ronnie Dyla joins us now. Coach, you were a man of your word. You did do that, and first of all, I want to thank you for showing up to the booth dressed today.
Thank you for coming here. It's a great experience.
Yeah, what's it like for you to watch college football here at Yankee Stadium?
It's fantastic to see how many people here and how many people is involved and the atmosphere. So it's a little bit envy for me to see how important the college football is here. Is a big thing.
It was also a big thing. First New York championship for a New York franchise since 2012. And these aren't just any franchises. These are the Yankees, the Knicks, the Jets, the Giants. What a moment for you and your franchise.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. You know, it's a great thing. We're a very young club, and now finally win was a big thing for us. So it's good to show New York from a good side as well, and finally we win something.
Now, do we have the video? I believe we have the video, Coach, of you keeping your word if NYFC won the MLS Cup. So here it is. What was the temperature this day?
It was so warm inside, so it's no problem.
I mean, this is incredible. And then you get down and you do some push-ups. Big play here for Maryland. I don't even know if there's a way to make a transition from that to this. But did your team make sure that you lived up to your word?
Yeah, I felt it all the time afterwards that something had to happen. So we keep on winning and we keep on doing it. You know, that was worth it.
So walk me through the offseason. Walk me through what's next.
Now, of course, it's a quick turnaround for us. It's 1 month off, and then we start already 15th of January. And we go play our first game in Costa Rica, the Champions League game, in 16th of February. So we're looking forward to that.
The 1st and 10 here from Maryland. Good job by Talia using his feet, but the Virginia Tech defense catches up with him. So, Coach, we talk about this. We talk about this all the time, how this is called American football because you believe that football is football.
Yeah, in Europe, football is in your words, soccer. So, but I can see how big American football is here in America, and I'm no problem with calling soccer here.
Ronnie Dyla, head coach, NYFC MLS champions. Coach, congratulations. Good luck in the next season. Remember, first New York franchise since 2012 to win a title. Thank you so much for your time, and Happy New Year.
Thank you. You too.
Tim Hasselbeck, there was no promising of any clothes or anything like that in our booth. It's become in vogue now. I mean, I think Beamer and Mac Brown said they would take a bath of mayo if they won the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Where do you lean on? Where do you land on that?
Yeah, I think we need to be careful about the things we're promising we'll do after wins if you're some of these coaches. Like, you know, there's a saying in football, KYP, know your personnel. So, like, you know, like, I don't know that Mac needs to do that in some Mayo.
So 3rd and 8. Roman Hemby in the backfield. Tagovailoa plants that back foot. Gets it out to Daryl Jones, and he's going to be short of the first down. Now, Sam Otto, you know Mac Brown well.
She was doing the Soldier Boy dance before games. She was doing whatever it took to find ways for us to win. And so when Mac Brown says he will bathe in Mayo, Mac Brown will definitely bathe, get dumped, do whatever it takes to get a win in Mayo.
But Sam, don't you think there's a better, like a better reward for the players? I mean,
No. If I'm a player, first of all, you say know your personnel, know your personnel. That is Mac Brown's personality. But secondly, if I'm a player, I want to see my coach in Mayo. I'm going to play harder. I'm going to do more to see my coach. Like, who does that? Nobody gets dumped in Mayo, especially a coach who gets paid millions of dollars. Give it to me all day, every day.
Eli Adams, an injured Virginia Tech player. Good to see him come off under his own power. But the bigger question here, what's our opinion of mayonnaise in general?
Ooh, not a fan. Not a fan.
Now, we are a fan of Duke's Mayo, and we are a fan of the Duke's Mayo Bowl. But in terms of mayonnaise in general, well, you know, Acho's going to leave that one out. I've been with Acho on many a Saturdays this fall. He keeps his diet neat and clean.
I try to, and then you think about, like, a little mayo is good. You put a lot of mayo, I kind of, a little bit too much for your boy.
Perhaps a bath, way too much. So 4th down here, 4th and 4. Loxley going to go for it here, up 27-10 midway through the 3rd quarter. Plenty of time for Tagovailoa. Keeps his eyes downfield, has a receiver come wide open. It is Daryl Jones. Daryl Jones, touchdown, Terps. 32 yards, the second score of the afternoon. Came into this game with no career touchdowns. Now 4 catches, 113 yards, and 2 scores as Maryland separates themselves.
I'm here in the corner of the house right there for that.
And listen, that was awesome because Tagovailoa, I think initially wanted Okonkwo, kind of just didn't have a lane to get it to him. And so as he kind of escapes out of there, is able to find Jones, who really has been impressive today. Didn't have a touchdown coming into the game, now has 2. That was a great run after the catch.
You know, after that last drive, Maryland had set a school record for passing yards in a season. And Talia just keeps adding to it. 18 of 22, 256 and 2 touchdowns. It is all turtle here at Yankee Stadium. A lot of big plays, a lot of home runs. 34-10 Maryland. With that touchdown pass, history continues for Talia Tagovailoa. What a remarkable season it's been. He's tied the single-season passing touchdown record with 28, tied Scott Milanovic in 1993. And now Maryland all over Virginia Tech here, 34-10. Tim Hasselbeck, Matt Berry, Sam Acho alongside New Era Pinstripe Bowl. This is one of those games. If you want something to get you into your winter workouts, to springboard you to a next level season, this is how that starts, Tim.
There's no doubt about it. And for a program that hasn't been to a bowl game, players that haven't been to a bowl game, to come and then put out a good performance, yeah, it's definitely something you can build on. You know, coaches talk all the time about the extra practices that you get, the extra time together as a team. You know, I just think there's a bonding element to that. I think it's real, and I think it's also something that Mike Locksley can sell to recruits, can talk about in the area, you know, as he recruits the DMV. And yeah, I think that these guys should feel great about how things have gone today.
Kept using the word develop. Got to keep developing this team. Got to keep developing this program. We're in year 3. We had the COVID year. Came in late after the Alabama championship. This is something that he believes he has the foundation. It starts with that young man right there playing quarterback. Now, after the touchdown, there was an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Maryland, which has backed the ball up to the 20-yard line. You know, we have this bowl game conversation all the time. You know, there are too many bowls. Why are 6 and 6 teams getting in? We're rewarding mediocrity. I can't stand that conversation, because when you're a team that's 6 and 6 and you're trying to get to that next step in building your program, or in Virginia Tech's case, getting it back to where it used to be, this game's everything.
It is, and it gets, you know, developmental reps, you know, in the practices, in the games. Look, I can just speak as a guy that was playing for a program that had a bowl drought.
Chance Black. Give the kicker the credit, Joseph Petrino. You know, back in the day on College Football Final, Joey Galloway would give the Matt Berry Rudy Participation Award. We'd give those to kickers. Chalk one up for the kicker there, Petrino, as we look back at the last touchdown, and Talia Tagovailoa tying the single-season record.
Yeah, it's a nice job. Fleet Dave's going to come in motion and run up the field. They're trying to get basically this shallow cross to come open by running some traffic. So read the running back up the field to a spot route to a shallow cross route. Well, when it's not there and Tagovailoa decides to escape, Fleet Davis is going to go this way. These defenders end up going with him, which ends up leaving Jones just wide open. And it was a good job of Tagovailoa of finding him.
Speaking of good job, Blackshear got caught for nothing and was able to get 3 out of it. Dante Trader brings him down. You know, what did we say in the Open? If you're just joining us, maybe you're not, maybe you watched the Open, but we talked about Tagovailoa when the good is really good. We've seen some spots today where he's missed a couple of throws, but all in all, I mean, you look at his numbers, 18 of 22, 254 and 2 touchdowns. He's played within the offense and done what the offense has asked of him.
Yeah, and I think that in watching him in preparation for this game, the thing that, you know, stuck out to me was he's making all of these throws. He has some similar traits to his brother in terms of the suddenness of how he plays. And you know, when you look at some of the RPO game stuff, which his brother is really a master of, you know, he's still pretty good at doing that stuff. I've been really impressed. And these aren't easy conditions necessarily to pass the football, but he's been nearly perfect.
The swing outside the Blackshear. That's going to bring up, at this point, a 4th and short. It's go time, I would imagine, from here on out for Virginia Tech as Levante Gator brings him down.
It is go time, and I think there's maybe an element, too, where you maybe need to start opening things up a little bit more just because of the situation of the game. And you want to continue to put your players in situations to succeed. At the same time, you got to find a way to quick strike and come back.
So 4th and 2. Blumrick looking to throw. Sets his feet, has time. No flag, incomplete, turnover on downs. Gator there covering Jalen Jones. Virginia Tech wanted a flag. Pressure by Lautez Rogers.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure what they're trying to do here. Blumrick, escapes outside the pocket to the right and then comes back to throw what originally looked like a go route, but it didn't seem like Jones was expecting the football, was really running any type of route to get open for his quarterback. Kind of seemed like they maybe were thinking Maryland was going to come after them, like a 2-man route, but really because Blumrick escaped outside the pocket, not really sure what they had at all.
Some more offense now for the Terps, up 34-10. They keep it on the ground. That was Roman Hemby. And gain of 2. Coming up next, number 19 Clemson and Iowa State, the Cheez-It Bowl, and we cap the day. Number 14 Oregon, number 16 Oklahoma, the Valero Alamo Bowl. Both games are also available on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. Well, big game Bob Stoops going to be on the sidelines. A couple of programs in Oregon and Oklahoma with coaching changes. Mario Cristobal down at Alabama, they made their hire. Did Oregon, and then Oklahoma, Brent Venables. Both those teams hired a couple of defensive coordinators, one involved in the college football playoff. Venables, of course, had a great career at Clemson as he takes over that program. Now 3rd and 7. It's interesting. We have a coaching switch, obviously, in this game. We talked to Brent Pry at Virginia Tech earlier. But it's one of those coaching changes where there's going to be some semblance of continuity because J.C. Price, the interim, is going to be retained. He played back in the day, 95 Sugar Bowl team. Brent Pry, a grad assistant on that team. So there is a coaching change, Tim, but a little bit more continuity than we're used to.
Yeah, and familiarity with the program, much like Brent Venables, going to Oklahoma. And I do think that the element to that is because it is critical for coaches to know the makeup of the program, know the type of players that are attracted to come to the school, and know what the fan base is like, and know what the athletic department is like. And so I do think, as you see Brent Pry, as you mentioned, a grad assistant, and obviously J.C. Price, a very good player here with Virginia Tech, that stuff matters. And I think that it can kind of help create and build the identity of your program.
There's Roman Hemby to the second level there, untouched, gain of 8. We were talking to Coach Price before the game, and he knows what it takes to be a Virginia Tech player and what they're looking for because he was one of them. Coach Loxley saying Maryland, his dream job. He knew what it was going to take to succeed at Maryland. And coaching fit matters. It matters to the program. I bring up Mario Cristobal at Miami, a great offensive lineman in his own right at the U. He knows what it takes to become great at that university.
Matt, I think it's a great point because Mike Loxley, I think part of the reason he says, hey, I'd love to be at Maryland is I know the players in Maryland. And J.C. Price, who's going to stay on the staff, like he knows what it means to be a lunch pail guy. And he knows the history of Frank Beamer and what they did on special teams and what they want to do on special teams. And so I think it's important. I think it's one of the reasons guys are attracted to go back to places where they've either coached or played in the past.
Play fake for Talia. Sees everyone's covered. Middle of the field, wide open for Tagovailoa. And that is a great job of a quarterback seeing what was available. And he took off for 22 yards, a little slow to get up.
A little slow to get up. Good to see him on his feet. And I will tell you, one area of his game where I feel like he could be better would be the willingness to do this. I think he's a really good runner. He's, you know, with his size, his athletic ability, the way he's, you know, kind of structured, I would like to see him run more. And I think it would be one of the things that would help things open up a bit in the passing game, but also control how people decide to rush him as a passer.
See Dino Tomlin there in motion, son of Mike Tomlin, right up the gut. Almost scored, did Roman Hemby. Brought down by Dax Hollifield. Going to gain a 7.
I think the guys up front for Maryland have done a nice job today. You just look at this open up. It's a gap scheme, pulling the guard and the tackle and kicking out. It's a good job of getting to the second level, and Hollifield just holding on for dear life to get Hemby down.
Under a minute here in the third quarter. This touchdown would all but do it. If Maryland was able to punch it in, go up 41-10. Already a nice cushion here heading into the end of the third quarter. Tim Hasselbeck, I spy I formation. Let's go. And that's a touchdown for Hemby. This Maryland offense clicking on all cylinders. 8 plays, 59 yards. And now 401 yards total offense and complete domination in this game.
You can say all cylinders when you get into the I formation, Matt, you're right, and decide to pound the football and your running back takes a defensive lineman into the end zone. And a lot of good things on that drive for Maryland. Obviously the scramble, the Tagovailoa, and then some good power football and good running by Hemby.
You know, Jesse, Joey, and I were in studio yesterday, and we were watching some ACC classics on ACC Network, and it was Florida State and Florida. And Palmer's in there calling ball plays. Of course, he played for Steve Spurrier at Florida. But it was a lot of I formation. And it was literally like seeing dinosaurs roam fields, open fields, of how great it was to see I formation. So that was just nostalgia for me. Let's bring it back.
Hey, it's amazing how fast, you know, things change in football. I remember when Joe Gibbs came back to coach in Washington and watching cut-ups from the last time he was there, and the receivers were in 3-point stances, Matt. Some of those guys were looking around like, no, we're not going back to that. And that was I formation power football, and Hemby taking Panay into the end zone.
Something so pure about the lie back. I believe Dean was the quarterback for Florida. Charlie Ward. I mean, look, if it was good enough to execute back then, that's going to be funny one day when a team just adopts all I back and they say, oh, that's throwback football.
Hey.
They're going vintage.
There are elements of it that'll happen. We were joking earlier about it, and you know, in terms of seeing Littleton in the game at tailback at 285 pounds, but look, I've only had to make a couple tackles after interceptions. I'm sure Acho.
No. You threw more interceptions than that. Don't make it sound like.
Plus, we had guys that fumbled a lot, Matt. You know that would happen.
That's true. Yeah, that's fair.
But I mean, listen, no one would. Listen, Acho can attest to, look, it's hard, you know, covering little guys in space, but having somebody big and physical just coming right at you is hard.
Let me get you in this mega cast coming up Friday, 3:30 Eastern, Alabama, Cincinnati, Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, Capital One Orange Bowl, the nightcap. Got the main telecast, the Command Center, Skycast, all 22. There are so many different ways to watch the college football playoff on December 31st, and we can't wait to bring them all to you. There will not be an I formation, Cam.
No, there will not.
Although perhaps
Michigan could bring it to you.
Michigan, you know what? Michigan is Jim Harbaugh, Cade McNamara doing a nice job running that offense. Hassan Haskins. They've done a good job. Michigan has in a year where there weren't many expectations. Blake Corum. Cannot wait to watch that game here as we tick down here in the third quarter. Blumrick, just all kinds of turtle on him. And that likely the final play of the third quarter. We came into this New Era Pinstripe Bowl, and the biggest storyline coming in. One of these teams 6-6 coming into this game. One of them would leave the season with the winning record. Right now, it looks all Maryland and Mike Locksley. 41-10, final quarter coming up from Yankee Stadium in the New Era Pinstripe Bowl right after this. Welcome back to the New Era Pinstripe Bowl as a part of Capital One Bowl Mania, the Empire State Building in Manhattan, colored. The Virginia Tech colors, the Maryland colors. Looks great last night right near our hotel. And of course the world famous Rockefeller Center, where Hasselbeck went for a nice ice skate last night. Did his triple Lutz in front of everyone. Actually quite remarkable that your feet are still that light.
I kind of figure you as a figure skater, Matt, to be honest.
You don't want that smoke. Oh, what a hit! Nick Cross forced the fumble, scoop, score, Terps. Greg Rose scooped that up, and Connor Blumrick took a shot. Unblocked. What a play to put an exclamation point on an absolute dominant performance out of the Maryland Terrapins.
Nick Cross, who's had a great career at Maryland, is coming off the bottom of your screen here, and I'm assuming they're either supposed to slide out to him or got to throw hot off of him, but he just absolutely brought it and was able to get the ball out.
That extra point attempt blocked. It didn't even have a chance to get off the ball. It was Jack Howes, the kicker, not Petrino, the normal kicker. This, I mean, you know what I loved about this play, Hasselbeck? This was just good, clean football. This was a good, clean hit. It was just good, clean execution.
It's a great point, Matt, because a lot of times guys come in and, you know, out of control and maybe hit the quarterback up high. Cross doesn't do that, and really it's just the impact of the hit. Yeah, and I believe they're supposed to slide out this way.
Hey, let's bring in Sam Acho, because Acho, you and I have had healthy arguments on Saturdays about targeting. They should clip this tackle off and show it for how to properly tackle, keep football physical without getting a flag.
Man, y'all should have seen me on the sideline when the play was happening. I was hyped. I'm sitting right behind Greg Rose right now, the guy who scooped and scored. Perfect play, but more importantly, you got a defensive lineman who scoops the ball and does whatever it takes to get into the end zone. This Maryland football team has so many athletes, so much passion, and that's what I feel. I was yelling and screaming just like they were after that play.
I think that's where we missed. We should have had a New Era Pinstripe Bowl.
Acho cam.
Acho cam.
That's what I need. I need an Acho cam.
Any good defensive play, I am here for it. Hasselbeck, you handle the quarterback stuff. I'm going to take care of the defense.
Acho brings up a great point. He's like, Greg Rose was not getting tackled at the one. He's like, this is my chance, baby. Let's go.
He wouldn't have heard the end of it if he got tackled at the one from his teammates.
Chance Black brought down just shy of the 25. You know, one of my pet peeves when it comes, you know, press conferences or talking to coaches in a media setting, they'll come out and they'll say all three phases. We got to be good in all three phases. Well, I'll tell you what. I will listen to Mike Locksley after today's game because they have scored in all three phases. Punt return, defensive score, offensive score, just a complete performance out of Maryland today to get them to where they believe they need to be.
Well, it really is all three phases, and if you think about just, it's kind of been a dominant performance in all three phases, right? I mean, just incredible. And now, you know, we get a quarterback change, probably the right time for it.
Taj Bullock, the young player from Jersey City, New Jersey. They said it was a good opportunity brought down by Nick Cross. Young player, hadn't taken any college snaps coming into today. Familiar area. And that's his, you know, third play of the game. Welcome to college football moment. Family, friends in the area. They thought it was a good opportunity to get him some reps.
Yeah, and I would agree with listen, Connor Blumrick had 16 attempts coming into this this bowl game. And so kind of because how things have kind of transpired at quarterback, it's a good opportunity, especially with the score of this football game, to get him some snaps.
There's a gain of 1. Montez Rogers brings him down. I could imagine if we just had an Acho ISO cam.
Well, I can tell you right now because I can hear him. He's telling them right now. He's like, listen, defensive player, you just scored. Make sure that they paint this ball for you. Pinstripe Bowl, you scored.
Hey.
That's what he's telling them right now.
And I just got in the back of Greg Rose's picture. My bad. I'm in the he's got a picture of the ball. I'm excited, man.
It's the segment taking television by storm. You are Sacho Mind. Brought to you by Sam Acho. Back shoulder throw there. It is complete. That's a good execution there. Luke Bussell on the catch. Gain of 20. No laundry on that one. You'd figure that'd be a good opportunity with a shoulder pad being shown from being held, but nonetheless, first down, still on the coverage.
Officiating for net result, maybe. Caught it. No harm, no foul kind of situation, but listen, it's important, I think, to kind of have a good experience here for Taj Bullock.
There's receiver movement, top of the screen. 88, Jalen Jones will get flagged for it.
False start. Offense number 88. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Yeah, you're right, because any team will tell you, any coach will tell you, outside of, let's call it the college football playoff teams, that those bowl practices are invaluable.
Bowl practices and then
now
games.
This, yeah.
Look, I remember my first completions, my first touchdown pass. I mean, it can generate confidence, feeling like, okay, I'm here, I belong, I can do this. And so, for Taj Bullock, these are valuable snaps. And so some people may look at it and say, hey, look, in a 47-10 game, how much does this matter? I think it matters quite a bit. It also probably helps somewhat in terms of the evaluation of what you still have at the quarterback position going forward.
It was Jalen Holston on the carry. Starting to see some of these younger Virginia Tech players, maybe some that didn't play that much this season, get in the game. Because you're right, we talked about, more or less an audition for Brent Pry, even if you're a Maryland player, for the staff coming back if you're a young player. But you get an opportunity to put a game on tape, to be evaluated in the offseason, to let them know who they have to build this program around. And that goes for both.
Because the question ends up being, all right, well, how do you react to this situation? And there are some situations that you can't create in practice. They need to happen in a game.
And over the middle, another good throw there by Bullock, and a first down for Virginia Tech. It's Bussell again. Gain of 6.
And so for Bullock to come in, completed 2 passes and only attempted 2. And so now you think, all right, I like the poise. I like what I see after standing on the sideline for nearly 3 quarters to be able to come in and operate the offense.
And that's one he's going to want back. He was set up perfectly to Cole Blaker, and he just missed it.
He does just miss it, and it's almost like guy's so open, what do you do? Is there any shot that second base, like Chuck Knobloch's area? Is there any shot?
Oh, I see what you're doing. Knobloch had the yips.
Is there any shot?
Those were bad yips. I felt bad for Chucky Knobloch, and I'm not a Yankees guy.
Could have been in that area, maybe.
You know who would have saved the day? 2, Cheetah. Number 2. Is there any more clutch athlete? Would you put Derek Jeter on the clutch list? Top 5 with Jordan, Tiger, Brady.
Who else do you have on the list?
I think that's. That was the list. There was nothing better. And again, I'm here in Yankee Stadium and enjoying every second of it at the New Era Pinstripe Bowl. I was not a Yankee fan, but any time there was something to be done in those title eras for the Yankees, man, Derek Jeter always found a way.
Some of the plays, like not even in position. Ball missed the cutoff.
Against the A's, wasn't it? Yeah.
I mean, just wild. Yeah, obviously, some amazing moments in this franchise's history, and Derek Jeter seems to be at a bunch of them.
Here, 4th down, and Bullock's going to keep it himself. And we saw him pregame. He's built like a defensive end, so he's got a solid base to get 8 yards and move the chains again.
Well, and it opens up when you have a quarterback that size. It does open up some of the elements of thing you can do. We were, obviously having some fun with Littleton and what it's like when you spread a defense out and run the football. You're seeing it in the NFL. Josh Allen for the Buffalo Bills spread people out and have a big quarterback running the football, and an element of that there with Taj Bullock.
Under 10 here, final quarter, 47-10 Maryland. And a missed tackle there. And a flag on the play towards the end. We're down at the point now, Tim, where you have to keep, this is composure time, where the game's gotten out of hand. One team's a bit demoralized.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 55. 15-yard penalty. Still first down.
As Johnny Jordan.
The Maryland transfer who maybe knows a few fellas.
Second down.
Might be some words exchanged down there.
Yeah, remember that time in 9-on-7 when you hit me late, I'm getting you back. Yeah, I will say this, if you're Brent Pry, you're probably looking at this situation and saying, all right, I want to see who right now in this situation, I want to see how they're playing, how they're handling this situation. Type of effort they're giving.
Backs the ball up now, 2nd and 23. Bullock rolls to his right, and that's one Bustle's got to help him out with.
Just a rollout and a corner flat with a stop route. It's a good job of reading it and really a pretty good throw. Not able to bring it in. Maryland playing aggressive on 3rd and long.
Yeah, they're bringing everybody, and they get to it. What an afternoon for the Maryland defense. Damian Robinson and a loss of 8. We've called his name a couple of times today.
Well, this is zero blitz. Here we are in a 47-10 game. Many backups in the game, and Maryland still bringing the heat. That is an all-out zero blitz on 3rd and forever. That's why they're able to get home for the sack.
So Peter Moore to punt. I'm going to blow this one dead before it starts.
Prior to the snap, delay a game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
It's been one of those afternoons for J.C. Price and Virginia Tech. One of those seasons, a lot of adversity for them. Start the season 2-0. They lose to West Virginia in a game they were set up to win. You detailed the Notre Dame loss, that 3-game losing streak. Notre Dame, Pitt, Syracuse. Set up to beat Syracuse. I mean, Tim, a couple of things here and there.
Prior to the foul, timeout was called by Maryland. This is the first timeout of the half, 30 seconds.
All right, so Maryland used one of their timeouts prior to the punt. We'll get back to the Virginia Tech conversation, but it is all Maryland Terrapins here in New York City. 47-10, 8 minutes left in the 4th. Fans join us virtually for the College Football Playoff All Access Experience featuring exclusive content, games, and daily prize drops. Register today at ESPN.com/CFP All Access. December 31st, College Football Playoff semifinals, Alabama, Cincinnati, Georgia, Michigan. Cannot wait. All right, so we're going to touch back there on the punt. Step aside here. Maryland ball when we come back, up 47-10.
It's a deboned chicken stuffed in a deboned duck stuffed in a deboned turkey with dressing between the chicken and the duck and the duck and the turkey. Oh, here's a picture of one.
Turducken.
Yeah.
Picture. That is it.
And you see, you cut it like right down here. See, and then this is what it looks like inside. See, so you got turkey, then duck, and then dressing, and then chicken.
Oh.
And then you just have to do it that way, or if any of that makes sense.
Now, can I get some hoisin sauce with that?
You know, we lost a titan yesterday in the football world. John Madden died at the age of 85. It was shocking news to most of us, and they just ran a John Madden documentary, and we got to really get into what it was like to be John Madden. He's such a powerful person in the sport of football. Super Bowl champion, Hall of Fame broadcast of the video game. But for me, he was kind of the voice of my childhood. You know, he narrated football for me to listen to on Sundays.
He really, in many ways, like, he was the NFL, Matt. I mean, and so when you say, like, he was my childhood, I think if you're anybody that grew up watching football around the era that we did, or around our age, yeah, that's what you grew up listening to. And I know a lot of people have talked about how good he was at making something that could be complicated on the football field so simple and easy to digest, but then also, like the piece we just watched, just fun. I mean, he cut a turducken with his hand on TV. I think Al Michaels almost couldn't believe it.
Real tender turducken. There's Reese Stadinsky now in at quarterback for Maryland. You know, in that documentary they had, remarkable job on that by Fox. I think Troy Aikman put it perfectly, that he narrated his career.
Yeah.
Like, John Madden was the voice of Troy Aikman's career. And when you put it in that perspective, you can't watch an NFL broadcast without seeing something that has a John Madden footprint on it.
That's a great point. And how about, you know, just even that awareness, you know, by Aikman to make that comment, because I think how many Cowboys games that he probably had. That's right. And who better, honestly, to narrate your career?
There was nothing better than a Sunday afternoon with Pat Summerall and John Madden. And there was no one that impacted a game. And I love the yin and yang between those two. Summerall was brilliant with little words, but Madden made up for it with his many words, and I think that's what made it so fun to watch both of them.
And how about Madden on the telestrator? You know, a lot of guys use the telestrator now, and the technology has changed quite a bit, but a lot of circles and arrows, and sometimes it was like really intense, important things to the play, and other times it was to point something out that was just funny that he had noticed and no one else had.
So I mentioned a second ago that Adinsky in at quarterback now. That'll cap the day for Talia Tungavailoa. Listen to these stats: 20 of 24, 265 yards, 2 touchdowns. Sam Macho completing a really, really remarkable bowl performance out of him.
And he's dialed in, so he's not in the game right now, but he's on the sideline cheering on his teammates, talking to some of the younger guys. You're seeing the joy, the smile. This is what leadership looks like. You're not in the game, but you're helping everybody else, not for now, but also for the future.
He has obviously said he's coming back, playing another football for Maryland next year. And that's Littleton up the middle. But that, you know, Tim, that's good to see. If for lack of a better term, franchise quarterback is still actively involved?
I think it's great. You know, the field goal they made right before the half, the first guy out on the field to celebrate it was Tagovailoa, and being still engaged in terms of what's going on. And, you know, it does set a tone. There is something that it does feel like this Maryland program under Mike Locksley, that they have good chemistry. And so whether it's kind of the culture that's been created with the players that they've brought in and, you know, playing with one another, as Sam kind of pointed out earlier in the game, there's an element of that's important, and it helps you quite a bit.
And no surprise that Taulia Tagovailoa, Capital One Player of the Game, for his stats and what he's done tonight in this New Era Pinstripe Bowl. And they're only going to go as far of taking that next step and where this program needs to be. It's going to, if Maryland's going to be one of those teams that comes in next year, it's going to be on Leah.
Well, and here's the deal. Part of the thing is with him is his ability to be healthy. So much of kind of the uncertainty with his brother had been his health. Well, you know, it's the first time since 2014 that a Maryland quarterback has started every game in the season. He was able to do it, and well, for the most part, do it at a really high level.
And Locksley was quick to point out when we were talking about him, saying, hey, he's only had 13 starts. He's only had 13, so the body of work for him is still being developed.
Yeah, there's an element, right? Because seeing his brother, you know, everybody learned the name. It was almost like, you know, it took a couple of years to learn his name. You know, and now all of a sudden it's like, yeah, I mean, Tagovailoa, like everyone knows it now. Like, hey, we're good, you know? And, you know, you're right. Like, look, he went and he was a backup, and then he transferred, and now, you know, he's getting an opportunity to start, and you can't, you know, his brother starts on to him. You know, he's his own player, and he's obviously done a pretty good job so far here at Maryland.
Be sure to check out the ESPN app for the Capital One post game immediately following the game. You bring up the Tagovailoa last name because, you know, urban legend of this Tua Tagovailoa kid at Alabama, this kid coming in from Hawaii, and we all were learning it. And you're right, Tagovailoa just, you know, rolls off the tongue now because it's become such a successful last name in terms of quarterback lineage. Tua obviously doing it 7 in a row for the Dolphins now in the NFL, and now Leah starting to grow into his shoes.
If I had to say this name 5 years ago, I'd have panicked in a booth. It would have been, you know, I'd have gone to Tua real fast.
I go back.
Now, I mean, here we're good.
I go back to Antetokounmpo. when this skinny Greek kid was in the NBA, and you're like, well, yeah, let's call him the Greek Freak. We'll just call him the Greek Freak for now. Now Antetokounmpo, you can't not say it right.
If that was some way of you trying to bait me into getting into some like name pronunciation thing, I'm not falling for it. The Sports Center anchor, you win. I'll give you that.
I wouldn't be that obvious about it. I'd bait you in a little better. I'd set the hook a little nicer. We were talking about, I want to bring Acho in one last time as we count down to about a minute and a half left in the game. Ach, we talked about it pregame and during the broadcast. If there's one team that you can look to rise up, we'll wait here to see if we get another touchdown from Maryland, and it looks like we do from Colby McDonald. So it's going to be 50+. Colby McDonald, 20 yards for the touchdown. But that's kind of a good jumping off point, seeing as though Colby's a freshman and a lot of youth. Maryland is one of those teams because of the talent footprint. You've got to start believing that they could have that one magical season to start the whole thing.
Well, Maryland is one of those states with that footprint. Think about all the NFL players that are from Maryland. Guys like Trayvon Diggs, Stephon Diggs, Chase Young, Yannick Ngakoue. There's so much talent in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia. That's why so many recruiters are trying to get people in. That's why Maryland is trying to keep people from going out.
And all they've done today, 481 yards total offense, 54 points. This is how you end the season, 54-10. Maryland all over Virginia Tech as we are wrapping up the New Era Pinstripe Bowl here live from Yankee Stadium. This December 31st, college football playoff semifinals, the early game, Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, 3:30 Eastern. Then it's number 2, Michigan, number 3, Georgia. Capital One Orange Bowl winners obviously advance to the national championship game Monday, January 10th in Indianapolis on ESPN. All right, so you don't think I'm going to get you out of here, Tim Asbeck, without a semifinals prediction, right?
Oh, is that right? That's part of the deal?
That is part of the deal, but like any good deal, Chance Black takes it from his end zone and pays to. I mean, Maryland is still swarming and punishing the ball carrier, but this is what they call a deep tease. People are waiting for Hasselbeck's knowledge on the college football playoff after he ice skates. Wait for it. It's coming back. Better than New Year's Day. Take a look at this lineup we have for you. Oklahoma State, Notre Dame get things started, PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. Then you've got Utah and Ohio State squaring off in the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl game presented by Capital One Venture X. And we end the day Baylor, Ole Miss, All-State Sugar Bowl. Another fantastic days of college football action. Mike Loxley's a happy guy, but I'm telling you, 54-10. This was a Gatorade bath that you don't want. I mean, it's, you know, it's cold.
You know what, though? I think there's an element. Getting the team back to a bowl game, all the hard work. Look
First
at him.
time since 2016.
He looks like he's okay with it. He also looks like he maybe had some type of waterproof material on that Pinstripe Maryland.
That moisture wicking.
Yeah, it looks like he thought it out.
I'm just impressed, too, with the youth. Look at the Maryland sideline. If you look at the Maryland sideline, all the veterans, all the guys that normally play are just huddled there watching the young players out there and cheering on the big hits and letting these guys that don't normally play eat it up, as that'll be the final play of this new era Pinstripe Bowl. And for the first time since 2014, Maryland has a winning record. They go into the offseason 7-6, and Virginia Tech goes into the offseason of a new era led by Brent Pry. Tim, what a performance.
Feels good, Matt. I mean, you just look at the reaction, you know, and, you know, you said it, standing there, kind of celebrating them, the difference between, you know, a winning season and not having a winning season. It was an impressive performance and a good reward for these players who, you know, have done a good job and made a lot of sacrifices throughout this entire year.
And you're seeing Talia Tungavailoa there. What a remarkable afternoon he had. 20 of 24, 265 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And how about the note to finish the season the way it did for him? You know, started off great, and obviously that lull, you know, a couple of losing streaks throughout the season. But for Tungavailoa to finish this year, passing the ball the way he passed the ball tonight, I think there's confidence, and there'll be a lingering effect to that as they head into next year.
You mentioned Leah, and he had that rough outing against Iowa, the interceptions he threw in that game. And if quarterback got to have a quick memory, and he was able to kind of go through the ups and downs. This team started 4-0, then they lost 3 in a row, and the consistency is where Loxley and this program they're trying to get to be one of those elevated programs year in and year out.
Part of that is the talent, Matt, you know, getting the talent. Nick, as we look at Raheem Jarrett, who, I mean, he definitely had all kinds of talent. Players like that in the program, but then also developing the culture in the program and the expectations and the standard of the program of how guys practice, how guys, you know, are dependable to one another. And it really feels like Mike Loxley has definitely set the program on that track to get that done.
There's talent in the area. We touched on that a number of times in the broadcast. If you can just hone in on some of that talent and recruit it and keep it home, Maryland's going to be something to reckon with as we check in with our Sam Acho. Sam?
So I'm here with Talia Tungavailoa. Talia, outstanding game, huge win. Tell me about your mindset going into this game and what does it mean for the future of your program?
Man, as always, first and foremost, I got to give glory to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. You know, You know, I'm happy our game didn't get canceled, you know, with all the stuff going on and stuff like that. But I think our whole mindset was just, you know, we have another opportunity to play. You know, I mean, if you look at our team, we had no opt-outs. You know, we got people going to the league, but they, you know, this coach said like this is what we do. You know, we just love playing football. We enjoy playing with one another. You know, we're really like brothers and stuff like that. So our mindset was just, you know, make use of our opportunity, play one more time together.
You know, people talk about your seriousness. You're always serious and dialed in, but at the sideline, you were cheering on your teammates, laughing, joking. Tell me about the other side of Taulia Tagovailoa.
I mean, me cheering on, you know, our other brothers, I mean, they're the reason why, you know, we're better. You know, they're the reason why, you know, we get to play. They give us looks, you know, whether it's on scout, and, you know, they always support us, you know, and they never get credit for it. And I think with, you know, every time they get to going, man, it's just an awesome feeling, you know, also making their dreams come true, you know, getting to play in a bowl game, you know, more so the Pinstripe Bowl, and just, you know, having fun.
And you left Alabama. It wasn't an easy decision. You decided to come here. I know your family moved to Alabama. Is your family moving here? Are they staying in Alabama? What's next for the Tagovailoa fam?
I mean, it's whatever, you know, my family's comfortable with. You know, you got my brother in Miami. We still got a house in Alabama too, so I'd love for them to move up here, you know. But, you know, it's only me, and that's a lot of traveling. But, you know, whatever my parents is comfortable with, you know, I'm all for it. So I'm just going with them.
Awesome. Well, congratulations again, Taulia. Great job today.
Thank you.
Remarkable performance out of the quarterback, Sam Acho. Thank you. What a day it was for Maryland football. 481 total yards of offense, 54-10. Quick final thought out of you, Tim Hasselbeck.
Yeah, just really impressed, you know, with Taulia Tagovailoa and just the job he did today, really all season in the direction of the program.
Again, our final score, 54-10 to Maryland. Coming up next, Clemson against Ohio State in the Cheez-It Bowl. Dave Pasch and Dustin Dvorak with the call. But first, we head back to the studio. Kevin Negandhi, Booger McFarland, and David Pollack. For Tim Hasselbeck, I'm Matt Barry. Thanks for watching. Maryland, your new era Pinstripe Bowl champions.
Matt, thank you so much from the Bronx.